If you had played Plants vs. Zombies 2, like, ever, you probably know this guy, the Snapdragon. Since his appearance, he has been in Garden Warfare and Battle for Neighbor. He's a pretty solid plant for when you're playing through the game, being able to shoot in adjacent lanes up to 2 tiles away. But the plant food is what shined through, since it can almost wipe out anything in the 6 adjacent lanes he shoots in. The Snapdragon has 2 other variants, with one being locked behind a $4.99 paywall, and the last one releasing in 2024 and needs 250 seed packets to unlock. They have different tweaks, but overall they have the same concept as they shoot in the lanes around them. Now I wanted to see if I could get this magnificent trio together and beat the game without any losses. The rules are the same as always, only level 1, no power-ups, only these 3, no sun producers, etc, etc. As the easy days play in the back, a lot of you may not even know what the Dragon Brute does. Dragon Brute is a 200 some plant that can, you guessed it, shoot in the adjacent lanes. I don't know why he needs 3 heads for it and the others don't, but good for him, I guess. Anyway, unlike the others, he can shoot all the way down the lawn and does a good amount of damage. His shots can do 100 damage, and to put it in perspective, a 3-peater shot does 20 damage, or just a P does 20 damage, and it also shoots in adjacent lanes. Although the Dragon Brute does need a couple of seconds after each shot, whereas the 3-peater shoots pretty fast, but that's besides the point. His plant food is where he hits every zombie on the lawn with a shot that does 20 extra damage than the normal one, which is pretty good, but I'd say we would be better off using it on the other 2, since both of them can wipe out like anything. Now his random ability is when he gets eaten, he like blows up and 3 random babies fall from the sky and seemingly fall on random tiles. Now these babies do 30 less damage with their shots, and they also have splash damage on their way down, even though they probably would just get squished if they actually fell on a zombie. Dragon Brute is also a concealment, so it is at its best potential when used with the shadow plants, but that's kind of too bad for him. Now for the other 2. They're basically the exact same, other than one makes the other one completely useless. Yes, I'm talking about the Cold Snapdragon. He does everything the regular Snapdragon does, except slow zombies, and the plant food also freezes zombies for a few seconds. Being the same amount of sun, this basically makes the regular Snapdragon completely outclassed by his counterpart. Just don't be sad when you don't see him used as much as everybody else. Now I am going to admit the Cold Snapdragon should probably be like 300 plus sun, but you know, I'm just playing with the hands it gave me, okay? Now Ancient Egypt of course isn't like hard at all, but this trio is actually like goated no matter what world, I feel like, because like we have a plant to completely slow down everyone that comes around with only 2 of them, since they shoot in the adjacent lanes, and we can put the Dragon Brute all the way in the back to slowly chip away while all the other zombies are being slowed. And the torch zombies of this world get immediately extinguished by the Cold Snapdragon, so their torches are unlit and stuff. But I put a Snapdragon right beside the Cold Snapdragon, and like every time the Snapdragon would shoot and it freezes them, the Snapdragon would just shoot and unfreeze them. So I don't know, it's not really helping the Snapdragon's case right now. Now one thing our team does struggle with a little bit is high health targets. I know I just said that the Dragon Brute does a lot of damage, and it does, but with no sun producers, it's hard to get enough down to actually do enough damage to the coffin zombie, for example. So we do have to use plant food on the coffin zombie a lot of the time, but thankfully so far we've had enough plant food going around to use all that. Or if it's just been a really long level, we'll have enough down to take care of them pretty easily. The Cold Snapdragon and the regular Snapdragon, to give him some credit, really take care of the gravestones really well, since they can hit the gravestones and both the zombies at the same time, and in about like 30 seconds take out the gravestones in front of them. So our side of the lawn is always like squeaky clean. Also got the Snapdragon some playing time at the very end. Day 16 nothing really happened. Like really nothing happened. Day 18 the plan your defense level was a very satisfying looking setup. You know, if you give me enough sun, I'll throw some in there. Day 20 we had to protect endangered plants, and they messed up giving us sunflowers. The last day was a plan your defense, and if you couldn't tell by this monstrous setup, we had enough firepower to take care of the coffin zombies. That is one very easy world down with only like 11 harder worlds to go. Other than this one zombie getting by and making babies with my Dragon Brutes, there's nothing really too crazy about this level other than the unexpected like swinging zombies that we need to watch out for, but other than that, these earlier worlds are going to be a piece of cake. Now I did not expect this to be a problem. I mean, like, who expects this to be a problem? But our Dragon Brutes do not shoot the seagull zombies at all. Like, why do they not shoot them? Like, I don't understand. Like, every other lobbing slash like catapulting plant hits them, but not dragon brute. So our only way of dealing with them is using a plant food for like no reason, or having 2 snapdragons down since one snapdragon tank can't take care of them without getting eaten. I'm saying all this, but they're not really a big issue throughout the world. I just thought I should let you know. Day 10 have the barrel pusher zombies and the imp cannons, and both of these get countered pretty hard by the dragon brute, which the dragon brute can shoot the imp cannons, but not the seagull zombies. And the dragon brute usually takes out the zombie pushing the barrel before it explodes with imps, so it's not really that difficult to deal with. Not a lot of the rest of these levels for this world are very interesting. I mean, this level looks really interesting, but it really wasn't.
Oh my god.
In this level, one of our snapdragons got taken away by a parrot mid-attack, which was pretty cool, I guess. Now for day 22, which is just like the 20,000 imp cannons, which like every challenge I do eventually like loses on for some reason. But if you have a brain, brain. You know this level is going to be pretty easy for the dragons. Not only do the dragon brutes actually go for the imp cannons so they destroy them before they explode everywhere, but 2 lines of cold snapdragons completely counter like everything, and only like 1 cold snapdragon got taken out in the end, I'm pretty sure. Also, dragon brute with its plant food hits every single zombie in the battlefield, guaranteed. So it literally shoots 1 projectile at every imp cannon that's on the field. So like my game lagged for a second whenever I used its plant food. Now I also did it with the regular snapdragons just to like be inclusive, I guess. But yeah, he also did a pretty good job, but he did a little bit worse than the cold snapdragons, while we lost 2 of him instead of just 1 of the cold snapdragons. But we still won, so that's what matters. Day 24 is the last level, and it wasn't really that hard. I mean, this imp cannon nibbled on our sleeping bean just a little, but cold snapdragon put him down enough where we could kill him before he fully ate him. So with that, that is the last level of Pirate Seas, and now we are on to the Wild West. The first special Wild West enemy, the old man that jumps behind you, didn't really do anything.
That's it?
I mean, I thought to myself, and he kind of seemed like a problem at first because we don't really have anything to like deal with him once he jumps behind us. But in these earlier levels, Dragon Brute takes him out like almost immediately. And if he doesn't, if there's a lot of zombies coming and he's like all the way in the back, I can just use my plant food on Dragon Brute and he can one-shot him. Also, there's a small chance that the dude can jump behind, eat a Dragon Brute, and then a baby land on him and kill him. But yeah, that's just like dream, I guess. Now day 6 had the piano zombies, and we dealt with them pretty well, but of course we did, since it was a planar defense and we had like 6 dragon brutes on the field. But I feel like in later levels, when it's not a planar defense, the piano zombies will be a little bit harder to deal with. We might have to use some plant food on them, but right now not that hard at all. Next thing we had to deal with was the chicken zombies, and they're actually like easy to deal with, to no one's surprise, since you know we have the snapdragons. Don't let this clip fool you. This was like really bad, but like the key to stopping them is just like not using a regular snapdragon like I did, and using a cold snapdragon. Who would have guessed? Because it slows down the chickens and the chicken zombie. There actually is still a problem against the chicken zombie. If the dragon brute shoots the chicken zombie first and releases all the chickens, sometimes the cold snapdragon won't react in time and let a chicken get by. Like in this situation, it actually got by, and of course it was the lane without a lawnmower already. So yeah, we lost the first attempt with this one. We took the loss way too personally and literally just created 2 whole rows of cold snapdragons, so there was a guarantee that no chickens would get by. And we actually used this strat like more than once, so get ready to just see a whole bunch of cold snapdragons. Day 18 was a level we really struggled on with the only hypno challenge, and I know this has like nothing to do with the only hypno challenge, but I'm just saying this level is extremely hard because of all of the chicken zombies and because of the amount of old men that jump behind. But this level is extremely easy if we just place 2 rows of cold snapdragons up really high, because if you didn't know, cold snapdragons can extinguish the flame on the old man's dynamite so he doesn't jump behind if you freeze him at the beginning. And 2 rows of cold snapdragons like take out the chicken zombies guaranteed, because they're already shooting the chicken zombies, so they take out the chickens like basically as like sloppy seconds or something. So this very hard level was actually like the easiest level so far. None of the rest of the levels with the chicken zombies were really that hard, including this one, because every level with the chicken zombies I basically just put a whole row of snapdragons and it took out every single one of them. Now this last level we did have to fend all these walnuts from these bulls, but they gave us enough plant food to take out like a lot of the bulls with the plant food, and I also just moved the walnuts out the way whenever they got too close. Now for the last world of the video, the Frostbite Caves. Now I'm gonna cut the umbilical cord right off and say that this world was the easiest of the 4 worlds. Not only does our cold snapdragon not get frozen against the wind or the snowballs at all, but neither does the regular snapdragon, since he actually heats up. So not only do we have a dragon that resists everything and is really good, but we also have a dragon that can defrost our dragon brutes when they need it. So Snapdragon actually has an actual use in this world. But if you understood everything I just said, you know how easy this would make the world. The only thing that was even harder about it was the fact that the weasels have more health than the chickens, but even then, they didn't do anything. So I'm just going to go over some levels that were interesting, or I learned something, or had a lot of zombies. I learned very quickly in this world that the dragon brute can't shoot the dodo bird while it's flying either. I don't know, it's just something about flying zombies, like the dragon brute just can't comprehend shooting at it. So since the most of the time the dodo bird is flying, the dragon brute basically just like can't hit it like at all. It probably doesn't help him at all that the dragon brute literally just doesn't have any eyeballs. That can't be good. On day 11, the level where they only let you pick 2 plants, I realized that bringing the dragon brute along means that I would have to bring the regular snapdragon because of all the freezing winds, but I really need the cold snapdragon to resist the wind, so the only option I had was to bring the cold snapdragon and the regular snapdragon. Although, if you couldn't tell by the screen right now, the regular snapdragon didn't really get any playing time. We do need to use a cold snapdragon plant food on every like ice cube headed zombie because they have just like way too much health. But like our 6 cold snapdragons can take care of regular bucket heads, but thankfully we had plant food every time for the ice heads. We go from day 11 all the way to day 27. Now this, I just wanted to show you this. This is the best setup imaginable for this challenge, and for the, well, just for this world for this challenge, because we have 2 snapdragons in the back to defrost all of our dragon brutes, and then we have an absolute impenetrable wall of cold snapdragons, and we dealt with 2 gargantuars with it. The last level of the world is a planar defense level, and while this impenetrable defense is doing its work, I'm going to say that, or I've never seen plants from a challenge be this in sync. I mean, like, I'm sure PopCap didn't do this on purpose, but these plants were like made to be with each other because like they work so well together. It's insane. And I don't think the first 4 worlds have ever been this easy for any other challenge, so I kind of have high hopes for this, honestly. Let's just hope it doesn't end on something like the Dark Urge. But yeah, next video tomorrow.